I am live. Yay! Yes, this is one of the good things I like reading on the screen when it says you are live. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Idea Moment with Rachel. How are we doing, people? Today is special edition of this program. Special edition because I did Moment with Rachel began on the 15th of January 2020. And since then, every Friday at 4 p.m. Nigeria's time, we have a baby, one kid or the other before us here, giving us a voice. I mean, tuning up our vibes. But today, no kid is here because I am here. So as I am, if you look at my forehead, just try to find out, you see a kid there, okay? And that's how we roll. Okay, so you're welcome to today's show. So I will be speaking on behalf of myself and on behalf of my TIM kids. Okay, so from wherever you're watching, you're welcome to the show. Are you watching from Africa, from Britain, Europe, from Australia, from North America, from Asia, any continent from where you're watching us, you're welcome. So, Idea Moment with Rachael is a live show which focuses on helping kids discover their purposes, which focuses on innovations. When kids discover their purposes, how do they go from there? This show also helps the kids to discover what their passions are. The show helps the kids to discover what their talents are and all the potentials they have. Someone is watching us. Tell us your name and where you're watching from. I am so excited to have you on the show. By the way, I'm looking very fat. I'm just looking at myself. I mean, is it steamy? See how fat my neck is. I need to start watching my weight too. Okay, so this show helps us to get all the potentials of the baby. And there's something extraordinary about TIM. We help the children to see how each talent, each passion, all the potentials should be able to solve problems. So we help them to channel all the potentials to solving problems. Is someone getting it? We help them to see how they can channel them to solve what? Problems. I don't know if you understand. I made a mention in one of the posts I made last time that I am confident as a person. Then, as a confident person that I am, at a point, it took me time to reason, to figure out how being confident can help someone solve a problem. But during TIM, we met a baby, I think it was Crown Crown C Friday. The baby said he's confident and he was telling us how he solves problems using his confidence. So in TIM, we have children to be able to know their potentials and to channel some potentials to problem solving. I don't know if you get it. So that they become meaningful citizens, they become responsible citizens, they become productive employers, and of course, they become creators of productive employment. Creators of productive employment. Every employment is not productive, by the way. Okay, so that's what TIM does. Then beyond that, now, when the child has been able to figure this out, TIM helps your baby to be able to voice out, okay? To be able to voice out, to be able to air to the world what exactly the idea they have is. I don't know if you get. During TIM pre-show sessions, I meet some babies and I ask them, do you have skills? The baby say, have they heard that before? They don't even know what it means to actually have a skill as babies. So they think auntie has a skill, mommy has a skill, daddy has a skill. So for them, I don't have a skill, and I mean, I'm a baby, I'm a child, I'm in primary school, I'm in high school. How am I supposed to have skills? But TIM helps kids to know the skills and how that can solve problem, then how to articulate it. See, I am someone who knows by Sorry, network cut us off, but back we are. Okay, so I'm saying that we also help children to articulate what exactly they have to offer. It's not enough to be creative, it's not enough to have an idea. It's also required that a child should be able to communicate that which they have as an idea. Okay, then finally, TIM, among other things, helps kids to develop required 21st century public speaking competence that can stand international standards, that meet international standards. Just like the last point I made, being able to articulate in words, being able to verbalize, being able to communicate either in verbal form or in written form, whatever it is that is in the head. So we do that. And then public speaking, because the kids is brought to the show, and I mean, he's addressing the world, and some of the kids get, this kind of exposure is just rare for a number of Nigerian kids and African kids, and maybe kids from other parts of the world. Okay, so having given this introduction, I welcome everyone to today's show. You're welcome wherever you're watching from. We are glad you're here. Okay, so today we want to look at a diagnosis of your child's talents and passions. So by diagnosis, we are saying that we want to see what exactly are your child's talents. Okay, we want to help you know what their talents are. We want to help you know what their passions are. And if you have the time, we'll help you choose the course they should study in the university, in college, because of the talents they have, because of the passions they have, because of the potentials they have. Isn't that good? Some of us, a number of us, that's actually why we don't have job in Africa. I mean, simple. Many Africans just grow up, they do schooling as a routine. They just land into university, land into college, and in the end, they finish this school, come out, go to the compulsory national youth service corps. When they are back from service, an average Nigerian discovers their purpose when they are back from service. Isn't that annoying? Isn't that terrible? So at the time where the individual should be deploying the potentials they've long discovered, they've gone to school to develop, at the time they should be deploying it to solving problems and earning from that. That's where they're beginning to even know what these purposes are. And that's trash. I mean, it doesn't make, it's a way too bad. It's way too bad. Okay? So, but just like Oliver Holmes said, that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So here in TIM with Rachael, the idea moment with Rachael, we focus on building strong children instead of spending our time repairing broken men. Is that clear? Okay, so we want to look at how you can actually know your child's talent. Let me begin by saying that talent is an ability. Actually, it's an ability. So but it's the ability of an individual to do something in an extraordinary way, despite the fact that they weren't even taught. So one thing that singles talents from other potentials like skills, like other things, especially skill, is that this child, because for skill, someone can also exhibit or display skill in some highly excellent way. But in talent, this baby was never taught it. Okay? This individual was never taught it. As a matter of fact, the things I'll be discussing now is just same with the adult, because what talent means to adults is actually what talent means to kids. Welcome, some people are watching us and we are glad. So what talent means to kids is what talent means to adults. That's the truth. So you find out that the number of things I'll be sharing now is just the way an adult too can follow and know what the talents are and exploit. That's the truth. The only thing, if there are differences here and there, you just try to pitch it. Okay, like to relate it to the adult situation. But it's same. Now, what is talent? I was saying that talent is an ability. is that thing you do exceptionally well, or is an ability to do something exceptionally well, despite the fact that you weren't taught. If you were taught it, sorry, it isn't a talent. Are you getting me? If that thing that child does or that person does too well was learnt from someone by the person, that is, the individual learned it anywhere, sorry, that isn't a talent. But if you weren't taught it, you didn't learn it from anywhere, but you do it such wonderfully, then that's called a talent. All right, so having known what talent is, I had to jot some of these things down so I don't forget anything about what I want to be sharing with you today. So the next thing I want us to look at is passion. Okay, passion. Now, because I'm looking at how to know your child's talent, how to know your child's passion. Because of questions I've got recently, too many questions I've got recently. So now, how do you know your child's talent? How do you know your child's passion? One, hey, let me talk about passion. I've described what talent is. Let me describe passion before I tell you how to know it. Whereas talent is something a child does very well without being taught. An individual does too well without being taught. That is, it's innate in them. It's natural, it's inborn. Passion is something someone likes doing most times. So in talent, the child may be performing it, the individual may be performing it once in a month, once in a week. In fact, in some cases, once in a year. But in passion, no. Passion, because there's always a drive, there's always a pull towards that direction. So you see that a passion is what someone or a child does more often on their own volition. Any ability, any skillful performing of action or skillful performance that you see a child involved or an individual involve themselves in more regularly on their own volition, that's called passion. Did you mark the word, the clause, on their own volition? Because someone like me, I have passion for teaching, speaking, training, I do. But aside the fact that I do, if I'm a broadcaster, for example, or I'm a teacher, I'm an employed broadcaster, I'm an employed teacher or so, you notice I'll be talking so often, I'll be teaching so often, I'll be addressing the masses so often. Is it on my own volition? No, because of the employment I'm working on there, I am compelled to always do that. So it's not on my own volition. One thing with passion is that the child, a parent was telling me, I hope she'll be watching this. If she's not part of those watching us live, I want to believe she should watch it. She has to watch. She watch it. That's watch the replay. Watch it afterwards. She told me that the baby just lost car from infancy. From as a toddler, this boy likes car parts. It's just car parts of the car, toy cars, and all that. Even the red car. I mean, that kind of baby, you need to be careful, because you park your car, he can even get inside at the back. What does he know? Does he know someone can die? He just likes car, everything about car. In fact, the way the man described it, I was so happy. It was so funny. I laughed, and then when my husband, I was reading it out, and my husband was listening to it. And my husband said, "Yeah, that's my man. That's my big man." So my husband's interpretation, the guy will make money and buy cars and life. So on a lighter note, rather. That was how my husband described it. But what I'm just trying to say is that this baby likes car, he's always with car. That is a show of passion, not a necessary talent. Talent is that probably whenever he picks a faulty car, he repairs it or he washes it. There's something he does in the car in a manner that is exceptionally wonderful. And this baby hasn't been taught to do this, but on their own, they do this to the car. They do this to that car, but then they weren't taught. That is talent. But the fact that they like going to the car, there's a drive towards the car on his own volition. This baby is not forced to do so. He just likes working with car, handling car, buying car. Every time it's just about car. That is called passion. Have you got what passion means? Have you got what talent means? Now let's look for how you can know your child's talent. There are many ways to know your child's talents. Okay, the basic way is in the definition I've given. What is that your child does better than and does too well? I don't just want to say better. Let me use the word too well. You know why? Your child, for example, may have talent in singing. May have singing talent. Another person has singing talent. People and their calls are disturbing us. Please, someone should help us tell one Gladys to stop calling. This I was saying that you have to, if your baby, for example, has a singing talent, he has talent in singing, he must not sing better than every other person. Your baby is Blessing, and there's this other baby that's Mercy, for example, and that baby is Jacob. So Jacob, Blessing, and Mercy sing. Both of them have talent in singing. You find out that when they come together, one will sing better than the other. Does it mean that the person that takes first, the person that takes second, and the person that comes third, you think that the person that comes third doesn't have talent of singing or talent in singing? They do. It's just that talent has grades. You know if you get endowments. So talent is not about what you can do better. Talent is about what you can do too well. All right. So what we are saying is that talent is something that someone can do too well. So one way to know your child's talent is be observant. Parents, parenting is hard though. It's hard. Because a number of us are civil servants, some of us are traders, some live in the morning, come in the night, and for goodness sake, you don't work 7 days in a week. I mean, you should not. At least on weekends, you are home. So what you do is that one of the sacrifices you're going to be making is to observe your baby. That is one sure way. This is the easiest way to know your child's talent. Other things I'll be explaining will still be based on this. Observe your baby too often. Because even when you have to use another person, as I'll be explaining as this class goes on, that person has to observe your child too. So it's about observation. So you have to be that parent that's always there for your child as much as you can. As much as you can. I know that we can be very busy. I am a busy person. I know you are, but then we have to do the needful. So you have to observe your child very closely to know what the child does very well. Now, that thing the child does very well may not make sense per se. It may not make much sense. Okay? I just remember something. I want to jot it down. Okay? So it may not make much sense. But one thing is sure. All right, I've jotted it down. So it may not make much sense, but then it's something they do very well. So if there's something your child does very well, don't bother knowing, or is this his talent? How can this rubbish be talent? Thank God you've known Rachael. Help me note what the name of that thing you call rubbish. Help me note what it is. Describe it, video it, snap it. Let me know what it is. I will tell you how that is a talent. I will tell you what it is, the kind of talent that it is. Is someone getting it? It's you that think it's rubbish. It's not. So, talent, how to know your baby's talent is to observe the baby first and to know what they do. So, fall into people's passion. That's what the child has a talent. Yes, there are times a child has passion over something that is not necessarily their talent, but they have passion towards it. They have some level of passion towards it. Do you get it? It's not possible that what is your child's talent, the child just hates doing it. It's not possible. No, so we said observe your baby. Now it's nonsense, graduates. Next one is that wait, my word, create natural. There's another way. I've mentioned do best. What they do very well, and I added that, you should not see what they do just because you don't understand it. You say it's rubbish. Now the second, an enabling environment. As I'm teaching you, like, might be a lie. Your own baby have not observed it, or you've not created an atmosphere. See, let me try to remember his time. Until God created an atmosphere of slavery for the Israelites, and Moses was in the land by the people. It was when Moses was thrown into the field of delivering people, leading a whole nation, that we began to see the leadership qualities in Moses. Aaron was just going his way, minding his business, until God said that Eli should be a spokesperson for Moses. It was because the talents and potentials were brought to test, were brought to oppression, were brought to test. Actually, I think that's the right word. That's when we began to know that Moses had a lot of talents, a lot of passions, a lot of potentials, except talking. This guy wasn't the very talking type. I mean, he wasn't a fluent speaker, but the rest of the things he had. And so God substituted, God had to improvise, and Aaron began to speak for Moses. Are you getting it? So it means that if Eli had been a super leader like Moses, we may not have had such kind of meek and mild attitude. Now Aaron could talk. Now, if God did not point Aaron and say, Aaron, go talk for Moses, Aaron might have thought that he's not talking, he doesn't have talent of talking tirelessly. So are you now seeing why you should create an avenue for your tribe to express their talent? The next question I know you may be asking is, what kind of avenue? How? Let me share with you. I hope you're ready, you're willing to hear. One of the ways to create this avenue is to drag your kids from schools. There's a way school started running for some time now, for some years now, for almost a decade now. We need to do something about it, if not more than a decade. In fact, it should be over a decade now. For over a decade now, the school started running in that way, especially schools in Nigeria. I think we need to do something about it. Now, if the schools cannot change, you can change. And what's that? They will take your baby in the morning. They say school dismisses around 2 p.m. or so. When the school dismisses around 2 p.m., they will hold your baby back. What are they doing? They will tell you they are doing lessons. They will do lessons with the baby till around 5 to 6 p.m. They will leave your baby to come back. On weekends, sometimes they say they have math teacher, they have math class, they have this one. The baby will go sometimes on Saturdays. Aside that, on public holidays, private schools, in particular in Nigeria, would these days. And so they will drag these teachers they are not even paying well, and they will drag your baby to school on public holiday, the only day you are around, and you should be able to see your kids to know what's going on. They drag the kids. So even on public holiday, in your light reasoning, you think they are helping, and these children they disturb. For those of us who are from the eastern part of the country of Nigeria, they disturb. Let them carry them. Let them carry them. They carry your baby. And you think you're resting, yeah, they are not helping. I'm enjoying the holiday. They will come back around 2 or so. They will leave your home in the morning, they come back in the afternoon. And before you know it, it's evening, it's night, tomorrow morning, you rush to office, they go to the usual school. Madam, Oga, are you sure you're a parent? Please, on public holidays, hold back your baby. No private school teacher will flog your baby for not coming. If they flog, they will explain. Why would they? Another one, which for me is the worst, is on a long vac. This is not like public holiday. This is something like the school has closed. We are the school is on vacation. As we call it in Nigeria, we say first term, second term, and third term. Each of these terms, when the school closes officially, they will say they have holiday lessons. For goodness sake, the person that invented these holiday lessons, it's all right. I don't want to say much. So, but parents, withdraw your child. So, from Monday to Friday, ensure your baby goes to school. Let the baby stay for the extra whatever lesson. But you see, on holidays, during either inter-term holiday or vacations, school normal official vacations, please withdraw your baby. Avail your kids of life beyond school. Did you hear it? One of the ways to get to know your child's talent or children's talent is to avail your kids, your children, life beyond school. Let them be able to exist outside school. Are you getting it? Let them be able to exist outside school. It's important, very important. Let them be able to exist outside school. So that's why there's no job. That's another reason people are just wallowing, just wandering about, looking for a job that does not exist. You know why? Most of these people who attended nursery school, primary school, high school, that secondary school, to the university, they keep going to tutorials. And at the end of the day, they finish school, they've graduated, there's nothing they know how to do. They've never done business before. They've never learned skills before. All they know is that they went to school. Sometimes they make 2-1, sometimes they make first class. And in Nigeria, when they finish making it, for goodness sake, there are many who make such. Some of us had good grades, but even upon graduation, job was nowhere to be found. And so your baby is accustomed to classroom experience. All they are told is finish school, get job, finish school, get job. Where is the job, please, may I ask? You that listen to me, some of you, most of you watching, I don't even have such jobs. You managed to create one for yourself when worse came to worse, okay? So why will you allow your baby to go through what we went through? That's not love. So please avail your baby's life after school. So those times they should have caught your kids, cage them on endless lessons. Please grab your baby, expose them to other kinds of skill acquisition and other things, okay? Skill acquisition. Remember that the world's most celebrated skill is the possessor's talent honed into skill. Is the possessor's passion, possessor's strength honed into skill. Do you get? So it's not just about throwing your child into a skill. It's always better. Try to get the talents of the baby. So you now throw the child to go and learn those talents. By the way, I'll explain this. Of course, when the difference between talent and skill is that talent is natural, skill is taught. How do you get it? So when you want to convert your child's talent into skill, the easiest thing is subject the child to go learn the same thing they know how to do. I explain this in detail in my book that will be published very soon, called Talent Synthesis. In that book, I explained the process, step-by-step processes of converting a talent into a skill. Okay, so I've said that you should create natural and enabling environment for your child to express themselves, including the talents. And one of them is that you should drag them from school and the caging lessons, avail them life outside school. I hope you got that right. Okay, so now specifically, when you've collected them back home, what do you now do with them? Is it just to stay at home? Some parents, even when they are home with the kids to be playing outside. There are some of them like that in my neighborhood. It pains me. A parent is at home, the parents is upstairs, the kids are downstairs. The parents are downstairs, the kids are upstairs. The parents is at the backyard, the kids are at the front yard. They are just playing endlessly, and the mom or the dad is there. What are you parenting? These are people raising rogues, because at the end of the day, the children are just there. In fact, they are no better than those that are orphans, those children who have no parents. And so, what do? You create some avenues. Avenues can come in form of what? Like I was just thinking of what kind of avenue you can say. Create things like craft day in your home. That this is a craft day or this is a craft weekend. Craft weekend. For example, you can make it a rule. You know, you discuss with your kids. Actually, don't just impose. Don't be a parent that keeps imposing. Okay, but you can tell children, you know what, kids, every last Saturday of the month is a craft weekend. Craft weekend means that this weekend we're going to be doing craft, we're going to be doing skill, we're going to be doing things with our hands. Okay, so you can buy them something like cardboard pencils. Those days in the morning, they take the bath, they do little work if there's right they need to do, they eat, and then you give them the things you bought for them, and then you create. And of course, you should buy certain things in your house. One of them is that you buy whiteboard. Please buy whiteboard if you can afford it. Get a whiteboard, get a marker for them. Then you get you now create this day. For example, I've set instance of a craft weekend where you leave them with the marker and the whiteboard, the cardboard sheets, the crayons, the pencils, and all that. Leave them, just say play with them, just get them some items, say play with them. It's a craft weekend. So in the course of playing, if you do anything that is beautiful, you come and show mommy. The person that does the best one, mommy will buy maybe biscuits, maybe whatever you promise them that you are sure you buy. Of course, you don't promise or you will not do, and you leave them. You see, some of them will use razor and start carving one or two things. Some will create a number of things, okay, for you. And so whatever they create, when they come, they will show you when you get to come and supervise, or maybe when you return, they will show you what they did. So they don't have to do this all through the day because they are kids, they need to play too. So they can start with that. When they are done, they can go do other things. They can go do other things and come to it. But I would suggest they do that before they go to do other things. Other things I mean now means something like going to church, going to play outside. If they have to play outside, they must play outside. By the way, while they go outside to play. But however, outside I mean must not be public. It can be at the balcony. But any other unregulated play, let this regulated play be done first before you leave them to go do that. So in the course of this, by the time you expose them for 1 weekend, 2 weekends, 3 weekends, you begin to pick which child does what and to what extent. Okay, so this is one. That one that given. The third one is that you have to be a parent that is not so property conscious. Someone who is corporate with us. All right, you're a parent who is so conscious of the safety of your property. You wouldn't raise children that have. Oh, see me, I'm talking, I'm here speaking English. I mean, children's whatever are not always regulated, are not always regimented. If I have to use it, there's not always that control because they're kids. So it's children with much talent. Because for a child to be able to express themselves and show you the talent they have, you have to give them some level of freedom. That's why, for example, you buy them certain things. There are just some rules you give to children. For example, don't write on the wall. You know, for example, on the wall, you see wall this way. A child is not supposed to write on it. And these are the things you form as songs you sing in the ears. You try to teach them, especially those who are from 4 years upwards, not to write on the wall. You can also tell them things like you don't use razor on the cushion, okay, on the seats, because when they use razor, whether the cushion is leather or is fabric, they cut it, and that should be spoilage. So apart from such very delicate, or maybe breaking of glasses, breaking of screens, but normally leave the child. Well, this particular point is something I'm not very good at naturally. But I have to be doing it because, I mean, I need to parent well. So I'm someone that, like, when I finish arranging my house, I don't like someone scattering it, someone staining it, but such perfectionist lives, such perfect lives do not exist or does not exist. As small, you've got to be tolerant, you've got to endure, hold yourself, watch them do the things they shouldn't do ordinarily. So when they finish spoiling things for you, just like we say, teach the children to read, so you buy them books, you buy them Bibles and all that, religious books. And you find out that when you do this, okay, when you do this, they will keep tearing the books, they keep tearing the Bibles, they keep tearing these things. So, and then whereas you try to regulate it just a bit, you may not totally prevent it, because kids must be kids. So I've said again that the third one is that you shouldn't be someone who is so property conscious, who is so conscious of the safety of your properties. If you prefer the safety of the properties more than the kids, well, the kids will be raised, they'll grow up to have little or no talent to show for it. Is someone with us? Okay, so the third one I just explained. The fourth one is that you should have time you discuss with your child's teachers. With your children teachers, in case you have more than one child. Many of us are too busy. We are all busy, but priority. If you raise irresponsible kids, you will know that you misplaced your time, you misplaced your priority. So parenting is not something that we do parenting because it's necessary. Sometimes it's not convenient, but we have to do it anyway. So you've got to be someone who makes out time to discuss with your children's teachers. By the way, by now you would have known that you should be someone who should be able to express or display some level of culturedness. I mean, being cultured, being courteous. If you're the kind of parent that like, ranting on teachers, you like blasting teachers. Why did you touch my baby? Why did you? And in the end, you don't have good relationship with teachers that teach your kids. You are losing. You're doing yourself. So as much as possible, I want you to know that these teachers are adults like you. Some of them are parents. If you feel they mishandle your children, calm down. Try to borrow emotional intelligence if you don't have any. Attend to such issues. Approach such issues with some level of emotional intelligence. It's very important, so you end up having some relationship with every teacher that teaches your child. And these things are per year. So as the child is in this class, the child moves to the other class, the teacher changes. So you have to be someone who can relate. If you don't have much to give to teachers, you mustn't be giving plenty gifts. But then try to have a relationship. Now, by that I mean specifically, be someone who create time to discuss your baby with the teacher. This is another sure way. This is the fourth way I'm now saying. The fourth way to know the talent of your child is that you create time to discuss each of your children with the teacher. Each time, the current teacher. That way you talk with the teacher, you discuss a lot of things, of course, the behavior of the child, the academic performance and all that. But in this case, there are two things you have to compulsively discuss, and that's what's that. Try to know from the teacher, what does my child do so for, like, I know the child, during playtime and all that. The teacher is one that's with the child in school. The teacher knows what the child does a lot on his own volition. Remember, we say this is to know the passion of the baby. Whatever the baby does a lot on their own volition is their passion. Now, what does the baby do too well? You know why? Some talents and even passions are not expressible, are not the type that are easily expressed at home. They're expressed at school. And so if you are just insisting that if he has talent or passion, I should know it at home, you may not know, because maybe the activities in your home are not the type that bring out the best of the child in terms of talent or passions. For example, I interviewed a baby on this show. The baby said that one of the things that gives him concern, is a boy, is when kids read hard, they try to study very hard to pass exams, and in the end they fail exams. They say such things happen to people that are slow learners and all that, and this boy wasn't happy at all. He complained about it. He doesn't just fancy it. Now the question is this: do you think, I asked the baby, what do you think, what can you do about it? He said that everybody should be studied enough to know whether the baby is a slow learner or what. Oh, it was afterwards, after the interview, that the mom told me that, you know what, that thing that boy was saying is that he too does it. The boy studies, but he's a slow learner. There's a way he must study to be able to get it. If not, he finishes studies, he still does not do well in school. Now, this is something that has to do with school and place of learning. Now, if you're expecting to see that at home, I mean, your home is not school. So the baby may be doing as if there's nothing that bothers them. But because what bothers them do not or does not exist in your home, you see why you need to, after observing the child at home, you need to discuss with the teacher. Once in a month for me is okay. Once in a month is wonderful for those of us who are very busy. You make out time. Even you can go to school to see the teacher. You can establish relationship, have the phone number. But each time you should have the phone number of the teacher that teaches your child. Each time. So that way the relationship can go to the extent where you can even know the teacher's home. Sometimes you can go there, go to the house. Sometimes maybe the teacher has after school business. You can also go there anywhere, anytime the person will be able to give you some level of attention. You go and relate with the teacher and ask these questions. I know something in you is asking, hey, is it so how all the children the teachers are taking care of? Will they be taken, how will they know which one this one is doing? Which one is doing? Are they not human beings? Are they spirits? Hey, madam, auntie, you may be so shocked that you are the only one who does that. You are lucky to be here, by the way. What I'm sharing with you this afternoon, many parents don't know it. Yes, many do not know it. So if you're thinking that, how would the teacher know all the children they are taking care of? How would they know which one this one does well, so well, which one does this one does my baby does more often? I can tell you that most of the parents don't ask this. So you may be so sure that in a class of, depending on the kind of school your child is going, take for example in a class of 20 persons, 30 persons and beyond or less, you'll be so sure you're the only parents who discusses this particular thing with the teacher. Therefore, the teacher sees it as a responsibility to look at your baby as much as they can. Of course, we should know that we are adults, so sometimes you can also try to make the teacher happy by giving one or two small things as much as you can afford. This is because somehow you're giving the teacher extra load of monitoring your baby. Okay, don't say it's a responsibility. That's mannerlessness on your own part. It cannot be the responsibility as you often think. Okay, all right. So another one. Okay, I've so this is the fourth one we've discussed. Okay, now guess what the sixth one is? The sixth one is that you try to see talents as solutions. Did you hear that? See talents as solutions. What I'm saying now is dicey, but I wish you pay very much attention. When your baby does a lot of things, for some of you who have multi-talented babies, your babies have talent, many of them. As a matter of fact, it's rare to find someone who has one talent. Almost everyone has many talents, at least two talents, at least two. It's very hard to see someone who has less than maybe just one talent, one. It's rare. Many people has two talents. All right. Many people have two talents or more. If your baby have multi-talent and you're like, how do I know which one is which? See a particular way to go about it. First, tell yourself that talent should be able to solve problems. By the way, for those of us who read the Bible, that place the Bible says that the king gave talents. He gave one 5, he gave one 3, he gave one 1. The one that he gave 5 talents, traded with it and made 10 talents. Okay, that's more 5, coming back with 10. The one he gave 2, traded with it and came back with 4. The one he gave 1, hid it on the ground and came back with the same one. And the king was angry and had to punish the one that hid the talent. What is that telling you? The king expected the talent receivers to know that this should be multiplied. This is a value that should recreate itself, that should reproduce itself. So the man expected them to trade it, put it to solving problems. Let's put it that way. Do you get? So let's take that expectation that the man had on them. He expected them to go trade with talent and make gains. It means that every talent should be able to is a value, should be seen as a value, and should be seen as a solution that should be applied on problems, and of course relief should be got. Do you get? So every talent is a solution and should be seen as such. That way, When your child does certain things, somehow more often and somehow very well, and you're like, is this one passion? Is this one talent? How do I know? And all that. See how you know. Who is willing to know? How you know is this. You ask yourself, this thing that my baby likes handling, what does he do with it? Let me get back to the parent that said that the child likes car. Anything that has to do with car, he's always with car and all that. In case you're watching this, next time your baby rushes cars, study carefully. Does the baby wash the cars, try to keep it neat, keep it neat? Does the baby like breaking the cars, dismantling it, and reassembling it? Does your baby prefer to ride or drive the car? There's a baby, there's a child in my neighborhood. This child should be around 10, 11 years old, maybe around between 10 and 11, I guess. He's in my street. I observed that this boy likes mobility so much. So much. He has to either be driving bicycle. In fact, the one I've not seen him drive is motorcycle, machine. Okay, I've not seen him drive motorcycle, but the way he's going there, I know maybe why he does not drive motorcycle, he does not ride motorcycle rather, is because probably he's the last child. The bigger brothers and sisters and mom do not allow him to handle the family bike. But I know if you allow that kind of boy, he will ride the bike. Now this boy, every time he's riding something, he's with the mobility. You see that he's carrying, and he doesn't like being carried. He likes being the driver. You see that he's carrying a barrow, he's pushing a barrow, carrying people, carrying this, carrying that. That's him playing with it. Or he's riding his bicycle. Even when the bicycle doesn't have a carrier, even chopper. Those bicycles they call chopper. He wants to carry a baby on the tire, on the front. I mean, he just likes mobility. At once he will go get a stick, put something on it, and be boo. I mean, this baby, I can't remember. It's rare to see him move without mobility. Any form of conventional or quack mobility, but he has to carry mobility. So I've observed that I don't live with him. I don't know what happens in the house, but from what I see on the road, the baby doesn't repair. He likes driving. I don't know if you get. He likes transportation. This kind of baby may have passion in road networking, and transportation has gone beyond being for those of us in Nigeria, being the Peace Mass transit of our time, being the ABC transport of our time. Many ways. I mean, there are many ways. Uber was invented one. These are people who have some somewhere with them. Today we have the air transportation, we have the water transportation, we have the land transportation. All these are forms of transportation. In fact, in today's world, we have another kind of air transportation, which the World Wide Web, okay, and all that. So you said, like, I'm transmitting right from the transportation. I'm transporting my voice, I'm transporting my face, my visuals, and you're getting them. Are you getting it? So what we are saying here is that this baby may have one or two things to do it. So you need to study. Now, maybe you may see a baby who likes mobility that way. About he likes dismantling and repairing. He likes repairing. I remember when my dad was alive, my dad of blessed memory, he liked mobility, driving and riding a lot, and then repairing. And a bit of using too. I remember then he often used it, he used to use is it Doma they call it? These machines that cut trees and all that. the man loved riding, driving, and repelling. The kind of tools that were not in my house then, maybe the tools were not in, was not we're not in the market. My father had all the tools. He could dismantle motorcycle, dismantle these different kinds of engines. He could repair. He was not a mechanic. I mean, he was not a technician. Okay? But then he could repair things. Are you getting it? So, another way is to see talent as problem solver. Oh, thank God it's now working. So the network was just trying to tamper with this flow of value. So I'm saying that that's how. So we study this boy. So the parents will just say he does that. He likes showing body all the time. But we study the boy carefully, and we know what we observed. The boy does not just like titles. The boy is a leader. He likes being in charge. He would want to enter the daddy's car. He has another brother. You know, when two people are entering the car, normally the younger should go in, is it not? And this one would tell the brother, enter the car, and then he would back, he would try to be at the outer part and all that. So we observe that this boy has leadership quality. Now the only thing he requires is that as he grows up, he needs to be told the difference between rulership and leadership, because the way he administers his own leadership now is more of a rulership. Of course, he's still a baby. He doesn't know what emotional intelligence is, so his own is to issue others. But he likes directing. Now, there are people who like entitlement, but they don't like taking responsibility. This one takes responsibility. I remember because of relating with him, we talked to them that people who tell lies go to hell except they repent. People who curse people who abuse others, children who steal, go to hell except they repent. So we are told how the auntie called him on phone one of the days and asked him, "Hope you're wearing your slippers." He said yes. The father said, "Are you wearing your slippers there? Is it not something like that?" And the auntie now asked again, "Are you wearing your slippers?" He kept quiet. You know what? He has quickly remembered. The father reminded him that people who tell lies go to hell. So he couldn't tell the auntie that he was wearing slippers. He couldn't. So he's someone who takes responsibility. One, he's someone who likes administering and giving instructions. As funny as that looks, that boy has and people listen to him. Other children obey him very well when he's issuing orders. Stop, keep quiet, go, move, come. That's the way he does. And you see them obeying him. So this is leadership. Okay, leadership is not only a skill, leadership can be a talent. He can now go to learn leadership so he can become a skill. All right. So try to know. So knowing it's not just my child does with this. Ask yourself, what in particular does he do with the thing? You can pick what he does with it. All right, that's why we say create an avenue for your baby to explore themselves, explore life. So you see them live out whatever it is that they have. I was just trying to test. I'm a voiceover artist, actually. By the way, if you've not listened to my jingles, then you're missing something. So I was just thinking about myself one day, and I was like, how did I even become voiceover artist? How did I know that I can do voiceover artistry very well? It's because first I gave myself to, it was in high institution during my college days where I began to produce and present a particular program. I call it paramedia program. Yes, it's paramedia. It's not whole full-time media because I wasn't airing on telly and TV all the time, on telly and the radio. But then it was packaged in radio or television program, but it was usually aired live. Sometimes one of my reporters, the reporters in court, to be at the back with microphone. People wouldn't see them. They would say, finish talking, they would say, probably nurse and karma from this person, this place, probably from Abuja, from this, because sometimes the news they will report to be something that happened in the United States, in Abuja, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and all that. Okay, so I was one that initiated it because the one I'm telling you to give to your child, I wasn't giving it all the way as a child. So I began to give to myself, and I give to my kids too. I'll give to my kids. So I began to speak and record my voice. I listen and say, wow, you have such a sweet voice, such a wonderful voice. I mean, I was so impressed. I was so happy that my voice is super. I began to record it. From recording that, I began to teach. Sometimes I'll finish teaching, I'll record and I will listen. I love listening to my voice. I love listening to my videos. The video you're watching now, I will rewatch the video. I mean, that's me. I like watching my videos. In fact, some of my videos I've watched more than 10 times. I just watched a video of mine today. This is a video I did since last week, and I've been watching and early this week. And last week. And I've watched this video many times. Okay, that's me. So it was in the course of giving myself to a situation of speaking, teaching, consulting, recording my voice, listening to it, expression and exploring myself. That I got to know that, wow, babe, you have, skills or qualities, talent for voiceover artistry. And guess what? I did it, and it was cool. In fact, if you watch this channel, just scroll through. There's something I say UNICEF, whatever. The idea moment to Rachael partners with UNICEF. Watch that jingle. It's a wonderful, isn't it? I was one that did it, and many other things like that. So give your baby an avenue to express themselves. And lastly, and that is the 7th point before we call it a day. Guess what it is? Form the habit of exposing your kids to events or places of activity. This is one of the most important things I can ever say in this show. Please give your child rather, an avenue. Form a habit of subjecting your child, exposing your baby to events. In Nigeria, many parents don't know. They have a board meeting, they have this, they have that. They feel it's not. Does this look like child's play now? Please, baby should wait. I have an important something to attend to. What do you call important? Okay, what you have to attend to is more important than your baby. Please take the baby along. Depending on the age of your baby. For some of you who have more than one baby, maybe you have 2 babies, 3, 4, and all that. Now, depending on the age, from 5 years, depending on the age and maturity of the baby, there are some 5. For me, I recommend 7 years actually, depending on the maturity of the baby. Or 5. If the baby is in such a camp, there are babies who behave like adults. There are. I know a baby called Promise. One small boy, like he could package him. No, not Promise, sorry. It was an Igbo name, Chibu or something. This baby behaves like an adult. He's so calm. So babies behave like papas and mamas. So when your baby is such a calm, composed, comported kind of child, please, from 5 years or so, when you're going to certain events, take the baby along. But if you're going to market to shop, I know the baby doesn't shop, intentionally collect one of the child, put inside the car, either your own car or public transport, go to that market with the baby. At 7 years, the baby should be able to go to market with you. Some of us think he's no, we can send the baby here, let him not have fever. Your baby is 12 years and the baby has never gone to the market. I heard of a lady that around 35 or thereabout saying that she was raised in Anambra State, actually, Nigeria, in Anambra State, in the eastern part of the country, Nigeria. She was like that. She's never been to main market on Asia. She's been to more. So she either shops outside the country, Dubai and all that, or she shops at ShopRite and Roban and some other kinds of shops that way, shopping malls. She doesn't go to the market. I'm not saying your baby should be frequenting markets, but once in a while, expose your baby. Because I said create an avenue for the baby to explore and express themselves. Some of these avenues may not be at the comfort of your home because you don't know the talent of your baby. You don't know the potentials of your baby. And some of these potentials are better expressed in those places. Apart from expression, places like seminars, symposia, selling parties that are good parties, not like some vulgar parties that some of you go. Okay, take your baby along. You're going to a business summit, take your baby along, except if you just cannot. Especially if you're going and you're returning that day. If you're returning that day, go with your baby. I didn't say go with your babies. Go with your baby. So if you go with this baby today, another time you can pick another one. It's very important. This is where another rare opportunity I personally wasn't given, and I don't. It didn't add up to my growth. I mean, it's not a credit. If I have a baby, as I have babies, I would take my babies to places I was never taken to as a child. It's important, very important, because the more you do this, the more the child gets exposed, the more the child hears entrepreneurship, hears businesses, okay? And the child gets to have life. Please don't give your child to a kind of exposure that's school to church to home, triangular lifestyle, school, child, church, home. Until the baby grows up. You are now forcing the baby when the baby is 20-something years and approaching 30. Hey, and your mate's not doing business. How many times the business you do, your baby doesn't even know where you buy goods. But you have house helps, you have apprentices, those who are serving you here and there, and you think your baby is, no, they go to school, no, they're in school. Okay, I'm not saying they should not be in school. That was why I talked about holiday. During holiday, grab your babies. Don't allow private schools to raise your babies for you. You may not understand now, but you understand later eventually. Have I served? Have I poured out? Have I done as I promised? I know I have. And I know you are richly blessed by today's special edition of the Idea Moment with Rachael. Wow. I know you enjoyed it. Okay, so feel free to reach us because aside today, that is a special edition. The usual way is I'll bring a child here, we feature the baby, we get them interviewed, and the baby share a whole lot of things with our audience, including you, of course. So if you want us to showcase your baby, a lot of parents are reaching us, please feature my baby and all that. Please, if you want us to do that, we're okay with it. What do? Just send us a chat on 0905 3624450. Did you get that? 0905 3624450. 0905 3624450. Or send us an email on innovatorseispace@gmail.com. innovatorseispace@gmail.com. If you do any or both of these, be sure that will get your kid featured on this epic show. Okay, do you have any question to ask me? Any question to ask me? Any question, whatsoever. Do you have anything whatsoever to ask me? Anything that it is. Whatever it is that you want to ask me, please feel free to drop it on the comment section because I will attend to it. Yeah. I'm waiting for the question. Do you have a question for us? On Friday, for the very first time on this show, we'll be featuring a baby girl, because we'll be featuring boys actually. And guess what? 10-year-old boys. It's been 10-year-old, from one 10-year-old boy to another 10-year-old boy to another 10-year-old boy. This Friday, I think it's 12th of February, we'll be featuring someone, and who is the someone is going to be a baby girl, and is going not to be something outside 10 years, not a 10-year-old baby this time. So remember, we feature a baby freely from ages, every child anyway, but we prefer ages 4 to 12. But if your child falls below or beyond this, you can send us a chat on 090-5362-4450, or send us an email on innovatorsispace@gmail.com, and we'll look into it and see whether we'll be able to take your child. But if your baby falls within the ages of 4 to 12 years, then you are just good to go, because you're going to be featuring the baby girl or baby boy. By the way, Idea Mama with Rachel is evolving into something wonderful. As we continue, we want to share with you more visions we have for this particular show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone that watched us. We are so happy you were able to make our time to be with us today. And until next Friday, see you on this show. Bye.